My beloved brothers and sisters. This is Hakann speaking. I greet you in peace and love. Our favorite forms of spirituality are those that remove stories or concepts. Our people are wise not because they carry around many concepts. Our people are wise because they carry around very few concepts. Because of this, they can love very easily. When we look at an earthling, we actually see the earthling. Therefore we love them. When your average earthling looks at another earthling, they do not actually see him or her. Instead, their subconscious quickly dumps that other person into a pre-made box. Then that earthling starts treating their fellow man not as a person, but as a box. For example, let's say that Anne meets John. Anne is politically left-wing and she hears John express worry about how many migrants are coming into the country. Anne immediately places John into a box and thinks she now knows everything about him. Anne assumes that John is racist, is sexist, is uneducated, is selfish, etc., etc. And doesn't actually know whether these things are true, but she just assumes they are, based on one point of data. So now when Anne looks at John, she does not actually see John. She only sees the box that she put John in. And of course she's not going to act very lovingly towards a box that's filled with negative stereotypes. Or to give another example, Hans meets Tammy. Tammy expresses a negative opinion about rich people. Hans is politically right-wing and immediately he places Tammy into a box. Hans is now convinced that Tammy is lazy, wants free handouts, doesn't think for herself, gets all of her opinions from mainstream media, etc., etc. Hans doesn't actually know whether these things are true, but he just assumes they are, based on one point of data. So now when Hans looks at Tammy, he does not actually see Tammy. He only sees the box that he put her in. And of course he's not going to act very lovingly towards a box that's filled with negative stereotypes. If you do not actually see your fellow earthlings, how can you expect to love them? Especially if you place them into pre-made boxes that are filled with negative stereotypes against them. Now imagine that Tunia meets John. Tunia hears John expressing worry about how many migrants are coming into the country. Tunia listens attentively to him, asks questions so that she can understand him better, never puts him into a box, and she expresses love and appreciation. John feels heard and leaves happy. Then Tunia takes a stroll and she meets Tammy. Tunia hears Tammy express a negative opinion about rich people. Tunia listens attentively to her, asks questions so that she can understand her better, never puts her into a box, and expresses love and appreciation. Tammy feels heard and leaves happy. Is Tunia left-wing or right-wing? Doesn't matter. Tunia is love-wing. Tunia cares less about telling people that they're wrong than she does about listening to people and expressing love and appreciation. At most Tunia may say, "I agree with you on these points and I really admire that you care so much about that. I think that's awesome. And thank you for sharing this argument with me, I had not considered that yet." And she'll simply omit the points that she disagrees with, unless specifically asked. Why? Because Tunia cares more about love than about who is right. Tunia knows that people on Earth have for millennia played this game of, if only I can tell everyone they're wrong, then all our problems will be solved. And guess what? It does not work. I'd like to invite you to a new game. It's called, Love People, and if you think that people have bad opinions, then express even more love towards them and listen even more attentively to them. Will you join this new game? We've been playing it for a long time and we think it's really fun. We think you will enjoy it too, once you get the hang of it. Your star brother, Hakann.